Hi, everyone. I am Sean J. McCaw, and I am your host for the Eurostep. Had some technical difficulties before. Let's see. Okay, we got my guest back. Let's try that again. View request. Accept. Come on. Let's see if it's working. There we go.
Oh, we here.
There we go. We in the house. We in there.
Oh
I
man,
see.
technology.
I see you with the fresh cut too. I
Oh, I
ain't gonna
had
say nothing about that, but I see you with
I,
the fresh cut.
I had to get right for the Eurostep, man.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I
Uh,
really appreciate it. I know it's 10 o'clock in the evening your time. You probably had a long day of practice, and you're blessing my viewers, my teammates with your presence, and I really appreciate that, man.
no, man, it's all love. Thank you for having me, for real.
All right, so let's get started since we're getting off to a late start. Let's get off and running. Yeah, here's how the interview will go. Basically, normal. I ask questions, say your truth, say what you want to share.
Gotcha.
Uh, and yeah, get some good information out for the people out there, and let's see let's have some fun. So
Let's do
just
it.
just it's more like a talk than an interview, man. So
All right, for sure. Let's do it.
all right, let's go. Let's start back at your time at Villanova. Um, how was it playing for such a fantastic coach in Jay Wright? I mean, he's a legend, and how was that experience? I played for Lute Olson for 1 year at Arizona, and it's crazy. So I can't imagine what it was like for you at Villanova.
Yeah, man, it was an amazing experience. First of all, I mean, God has really been by my side through this whole journey, you know. But when just thinking back to when I first attended Villanova in 2011, going in there for summer training, summer school, summer workouts and stuff like that.
Right.
It was all just a big just like a big surprise to me, man. Like I mean, I played AAU and I was on the scene and I did the tournaments and stuff like that, but it just felt like everything was so new. Everything was so like the world was a lot bigger than what I truly thought it was. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
when I got there, I don't want to say I was like starstruck or anything, but it was just like it was just like something that I couldn't even prepare for. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
coming from a small town, small public school. You know, so it was just something that it took me a while to kind of get a grasp on, and obviously Jay Wright's legacy speaks for itself.
Right.
It's even bigger than it was when I was in school, for him winning 2 chips. So uh, but Coach Wright, man, I got nothing bad to say about him. Obviously, he's different than what the public eye may see in that
Of
practice
course.
room. You know what I mean?
Of
He's
course.
he's a different animal. But man, he guided me so much through those 4 years. Like just I don't want to say I was lost, but just feeling it out. You know what I mean? I was really just taking it day by day, and just by him being there and kind of just allowing me to figure out on my own, but still be able to guide me and mold me and push me into certain directions. And you know, I'm sure he'll say that I wasn't the quote unquote chosen one in that group. I was probably the most underrated guy coming in that freshman class, and that was fine by me. I didn't even care. You know, and come to think about it, I was the only one who stayed out of that freshman class. You know what I mean? It
Wow.
was me, Tyrone Johnson, Ashley Kubel, Marcus
Wow.
Kennedy, and they all left after that after our freshman year, and I was the only one who stuck it out and stayed through it. So I got all good things to say about Jay Wright, you know, and Villanova as a university.
What's his presence like? I mean, because when we see it on TV, when I watch him on TV, I think, damn, that's a cool ass dude. Like he just has this air of confidence and this kind of like, I don't know, like just weird kind of
Yeah.
sense of responsibility, kind of, you know? How is he like in like your normal day-to-day practice? Does he joke? Did he joke with you guys? Was he kind of like all business, or was he kind of
Nah,
like a mixture of both?
nah, he wasn't joking. Straight business, dog. He wasn't joking at all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, yeah, he was cordial, he was cool, but nah, he wasn't playing around, bro. He was right to it. You know what I mean? It was crazy because I was just telling the story to one of my homies. When we would play open gym in the summers, Coach Wright used to drive this blue Range, and when you the old pavilion, when you turn the corner, you can kind of see like it's like a little parking lot where Coach Wright used to park. Only Coach Wright could park there. And when you turn the corner, you see if that blue Range is there or not. You knew what kind of day it was gonna be. If that blue Range was there, you know what I mean, it was gonna be a day. But if not, he wasn't there. You know what I mean, you could chill a little bit. But
Right.
you know, his presence, man, his presence was everything. And that's one thing I really took from him. You know, he just had like a confidence about him, and he was
Yeah.
like he was just talking. He was talking stuff about like attitude and next play and being in the moment. You know what I mean? Just stuff that nobody ever told me that before. Like he was, I guess, woke before woke was a thing. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
on that type of thing. You know, he was always preaching, like I said, next play and having a good attitude and treating the janitor like the CEO. You know what I mean? He was that type of guy. You know, he was really trying to structure your mind into being a well-rounded human being before a basketball player. And so one thing I took from him was just he was confident, but it wasn't like a look at me type of guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was poised, but it wasn't like he was still humble. You know what I mean? And that's what I loved about him. Like he was just so cool under pressure. Like in tight games, you never seen him sweat. You never seen him. You know what I mean? He would yell, but he was never like out of character. He always, you know what I mean? I just credit him for being able to do that as long as he's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing I always remember about Coach Wright. You know, he was always cool, never rattled, always just calm, relaxed. And he just had this like this like higher power, higher spirit like within him. You can just feel it, and
it's like exuding from him, kind of.
Yeah. He just it was just something I don't know if he learned it or if he I don't know how he does it. I still ask him questions to this day. You know what I mean?
Good.
You know, he's somebody that he can always teach me something. You know, so, nothing bad to say about that guy, man. He's still one of the top most influential people in my life. So
yeah. Is there any game that you remember the most? When I was doing my research, I was looking through some of your old games, and I looked at that Butler game when you had 8 threes and you hit the game winner. There's 1.5 seconds left on the clock. What game stands out for you from your Villanova time?
Man, we had a lot of big games, man. We had a lot of big, grimy, tough games. You know what I mean? Them Big East games where they go down to the wire, and you know what I mean? Them tough, playing Butler, playing Seton Hall, playing, you know, even when South Florida was in the league, there was a bunch of teams. UConn, when UConn was in the league, it was the Big East was so tough and hard nosed and competitive. But it ain't even the games, bro. It was the practices. Like the games was cool. Like the game, there were some games where I can point those out to you, but the practices, bro, was just so intense, so live and so like not even grueling, but like when you come out of them, it's like, yo, I did that. Like
you did work.
You're almost proud of it. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
was so hard and so intense and so competitive. Not like dudes are gonna throw blows, but it got to that point sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That line. He never allowed us to cross that line. But practice used to be so intense, so hard, bro. Like the games didn't even matter for real. Like it was just not easy, but it was a cakewalk compared to practice. But the one game I do remember, man, was my freshman year. This was when West Virginia was in the league. This was like the old Big East before it turned into like, you know what I mean? Before they did all that football stuff. We were playing West Virginia. I'm a true freshman at the time. And I'm still going through the phases of, you know, feeling it out, kind of being, you know, starstruck a little bit, you know what I mean? Timid a little bit. You know, I'm just feeling it out. I'm not truly confident because it's like, I don't really know what this is. And so we're in West Virginia. And West Virginia are the Mountaineers. And they had this like musket. I guess it's a musket you call it. And,
the gun?
And, yeah, it's like a gun.
Yeah, the long gun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the big barrel at the end.
Yeah.
Bro, before the game, they shoot this musket. Like I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I'm a true freshman. I'm starting this game. On the road, West Virginia. Before the game started to tip off or something like that, they shoot this musket, bro. It was the loudest boom. It was so loud. It literally took me out the rest of the game. Not even lying. Not even lying, bro. I knew I was not gonna have a good game. I just knew it, bro. I knew it, bro. I was so shook, and I didn't even like comprehend what was going on, bro. It was just so loud, and I was just like, yo, I'm really here. Like I'm really
You're
here. You
really
know
at
what
the
I'm
big
saying?
time.
Exactly. And it kind of like woke me up for real. And that game will always, always stick with me. And it was a terrible game. We lost, and long bus ride home, long plane ride home. But that game will always stick with me, bro, because I will never forget that wake up call. You know what I mean? When everybody has
Right.
that wake up call where it's like,
Yeah.
all right, you can't be timid no more. It's time to go now. You know, so
Right.
it was
Yeah.
either a make or break type of situation, and I will never forget that game, man.
So let's talk about your senior year. You guys had a great season, and I tell you, you were y'all broke my bracket. You broke my heart.
Yeah,
Your senior year,
man, I know it.
I remember this because I had you guys winning the chip,
I
and
know
you
it.
busted my bracket.
I know it.
Um,
I know it.
I mean, that was you guys had a squad that year. I mean, you guys had a squad every year, but I think that was a year when like really everybody kind of like picked you guys to win it. And how was it for you back then to go out on that note? I mean, that's a tough. Nope, only one team wins their
Yeah.
last game, of course, unless you're in IT or whatever. But we're talking about like the real deal. So, what is it like to get that far? The expectations that you guys probably had on yourselves and the country had for you.
Hmm.
Uh, how was it to go out on that sour note?
Well, I don't even think that we kind of realized the expectations at the time.
Really?
Coach Wright had us so like together and so
Uh-huh.
like if you notice what Villanova does before every practice, before every game, they get in a huddle, they get in a circle around the V.
Right.
Nobody can step foot inside the V, and you can't allow anybody inside that V. You know what I mean? So he had that effect on us to allow us to just be in the moment, focus now, and not worry about
Mhm.
outside
The white noise.
outside noise and stuff like that. So at
Mhm.
least for me personally, like, I didn't even you telling me that now, I didn't even know that was the expectation.
Really?
Obviously, we had our own expectations to win for sure,
Right. Right.
but I didn't know that that's what was going on in the outside world.
Uh-huh.
And so to have that type of letdown, it was definitely disappointing because it was senior year. Obviously, when you want to get further,
Yeah. Yeah.
you definitely want to make some damage. But at the same time, bro, it was like I wasn't really like I was sad because it was over, but at the same time, I knew that them boys was gonna win. Like I knew us getting there and going through that and like failing, so to say.
It was going to help
Them boys,
the
them boys
future.
went and won 2 years after that, or
Right.
they came back and won. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So and that happened every year throughout my career at Villanova. Freshman year, sophomore year we lost to Carolina in the first round. We got better. Junior year, same thing. You know what I mean? Senior year, they went on and won. And so for me, it was like I guess in the moment I just realized like, man, you just gotta take this. You just gotta take this L for the next youngest coming up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I was okay with that in a way because I knew these guys and I knew that they really
Mhm.
cared and I knew that they were gonna bounce back for me and Javon. You know, because we were the two
Mhm.
seniors on that
Yeah.
team. And so yeah, I was upset, but at the same time I was like, yo, they're gonna win. I mean, obviously
Mhm.
I want to win too, but they're
Yeah.
about to win. They're about to win either next year or the following year, and that's what they did.
Yeah. Um, take me through. You go. Okay. Your season is over. You go to Portsmouth. For those of you don't know, Portsmouth is a kind of like a showcase for top college athletes to kind of showcase themselves, like an all-star game, basically. So you go to Portsmouth, and can you walk me through what it was like to
Hmm.
go to Portsmouth and then to start going on NBA workouts? Because that's something that I think not a lot of people have a lot of insight into
Yeah.
out there that are watching right now.
Yeah, for sure. So when I graduated, obviously my mind switched to the NBA automatically.
Right,
You know, that's
right.
and I didn't really know too much about Portsmouth. I didn't really want to go, to be honest with you.
Really?
Um, but I knew I had to go. If I wanted to get to where I wanted to get to, I had to do it.
Mhm.
So I had to get the eyes on me. And the one thing I remember about Portsmouth, dog, I was the only one at Portsmouth in a suit. Like at Portsmouth, they do these interviews. The teams come to Portsmouth, the scouts and stuff, and they're doing
Right,
interviews, making sure you're a good character. You know what I'm saying? You got a
right.
good background. Checking all the boxes for you. And I was the only one every time we had an interview, I was the only one in there with a full suit on, bro, like a suit, three-piece, clean suit. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of took pride in it. I mean, my agent told me to do it, but I kind of took pride in it because I knew nobody else was doing it. And
Mhm.
shoot, if this was gonna get me into the league, bro, I'd do it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, that's one thing I remember about Portsmouth, and I also remember that I played terrible. Like I played awful at Portsmouth because it's like a in Villanova for 4 years, where I was in the system. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I was, you know what I mean?
All-star
I knew
games are terrible for people that have played in the system and are good in that kind of thing. All-star
exactly.
games are really bad for
Exactly.
those
And
type of people.
I was doing it for 4 years. Like I wasn't doing
Yeah,
nothing else but coming
yeah,
off handoffs, coming off pick and
yeah.
rolls. You know what I mean? I was locked in on doing a certain thing. And then I go to Portsmouth and it's like, all right, go ahead and ISO, go ahead. And I
Hmm.
just didn't have that in my game at the time. You know what I mean? I just didn't have that up and down, no rhythm game at the time. And I didn't know how to adjust and I didn't know how to handle it. So I thought I played terrible. I'm like, man, there's no way dude's gonna draft me off this. No way, no way. They see this tape. It's over for me. And so I do that. I go to Portsmouth. I had a bunch of interviews, man. I feel like I did at least an interview for every team, thankfully. And I did a well job doing that. And then after that, I had to fly to Santa Santa Monica, California. That's where my agency was at, and working out, doing 2-3 days workouts, you know, grinding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in it there,
Then
and
it's really the grind.
exactly, that's the grind right there. And it's before the workout, so you're working out 2-3 times a day. I never been to California at this time. This is my first time being in Cali. My family's back east, and out there just working, you know, just trying to find my
Right.
way, grinding, keeping my heads down, keep my blinders on, and staying focused. And then thankfully, bro, I had like at least, man, I want to say at least like 17 workouts for teams, and like that's like a lot.
That's really a lot. I
That's
know
a
guys
lot.
that had like six and they were like, damn, I'm tired.
Yeah, nah, bro, I was going through the whole thing. Like I was like, if they want me to come, then I'll come. Like, I'll be there. If they need to get some eyes on me and see what I can do, then this is what it is. So
Did
I
you
had,
work out for anybody twice?
yeah, I worked out for the Lakers twice. I worked out for the Lakers twice. That's the only time I can remember that I worked out with twice. Um, they flew me out. They flew me out the day before the draft, and I figured like, I think I'm gonna go to LA
Mm.
because I mean, if they bring you for a second workout, they want to see you again.
Right.
So they're obviously interested. So went through those workouts, about 15, 16 workouts, I want to say, and yeah, man, that was a grind, bro. Like that's if whoever's going through that and whoever doesn't know about that, like that's something that you will never forget in your career. Like flying state to state, you know what I mean, working out, leaving interviews. I mean, you don't know what hotel you're in. I mean, it's kind of setting you up for the NBA
For the
season,
league.
so to
Yeah.
say. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or career playing
Or
professional.
Euroleague season.
Exactly. So it's just kind of setting me up to kind of see if like do you really want to do this? And I can remember asking myself like, yo, bro, like is this something that you really want to do? This is like between the 12th, 13th workout. Like I'm tired. I don't even want to do it no more. But I'm like, is this what you really want to do? You got to keep going.
Thank
So,
you. Yeah.
so I grinded that out, gutted that out, did that, and man, God was with me, bro, because that was probably one of the toughest times. Not like hard, but like
Stressful,
stressful, grind, mentally, physically.
grinding.
You know what I'm saying? It was just
Yeah.
like because
Physically and mentally.
physically and mentally, because you want to make it to the league so bad, bro. Like
It's
I
all
mean,
you dreamed about your whole life.
everybody knows you want to make it so bad. So it's like you giving your all every second, every moment of the day. You just doing everything you can to get to the NBA.
Yeah.
And
And
so
they were close.
right, right. And so it worked out. You know what I mean? I can keep going, but it all worked out, and I'm glad I did it, man. I'm glad I went through that whole grind, that whole process, because it was definitely something that I could definitely take with me.
Where did you watch the draft at?
Mom's house, but I didn't even me, bro. I'm superstitious, bro. Like I'm I'm superstitious to the tenth degree. Like I just felt like I couldn't watch it. Like if I watched it, I wasn't gonna get drafted, and that's as crazy as that sounds. So I was like, I'm about to go work out. You know what I'm saying? So I went on a run. I went to go get some shots up. I'm like, man, I ain't finna sit there and watch it. And
Yo,
so
the grind never stops, man.
never. And I was just in it. I was just in it, bro. I was just in it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I'm not finna stop. I'm just keep going. And I told moms like, Mom, don't invite nobody over the house. I want it to be quiet. Me, you, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Close family, maybe 2, 3 people. That's it.
That's it.
I come back to the crib. It's a whole party going on, and I'm like, Mom, what's going on? We don't even got the guarantee that it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? That I'm
Right.
gonna be drafted. Like I didn't want to have that. I didn't want to have no draft party and not get drafted. Like that does not sit well with me. But God
It
was with me,
worked out.
bro. God was with me, and they called me at 38. So,
38.
hmm
Pistons called you at 38. What what do you remember the most about getting that call?
yo, bro, listen.
Did
When
you get wait, did you get called before the pick?
yeah,
You got called right before the pick, right?
my agent called me. My agent called me. So my bad. Let me backtrack. So before I did all these workouts, my agent was like, "Listen, Detroit likes you, bro. So if you go to Detroit, make sure you locked in. Make sure you have a good workout there because they really,
Mhm.
really like you." But they didn't bring me back for a second time, and I'm like, "Damn, they must not really like me like that. Like, why didn't they bring me back to see me again? Because the Lakers did on the day before the draft. I got to fly all the way to Cali the day before the draft and then fly back." And I remember him telling me that. And then he called me after my workout. I get home, go upstairs, wash up and whatever. And I missed his call. And then he calls back again. I answer, and you know me, I'm superstitious. I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, I'm already thinking bad. Like, I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking positive at the time. He's like, yo, Detroit's gonna pick you at 38. And listen, bro, like, I'm not really like emotional like that, like outgoing, like I'm screaming and stuff like that. I just was like quiet, like just I didn't say anything. I just was like, okay, cut my phone off, and I sat there, bro, and I just thought about all the work, all the grind me and my dad went through, picking up a ball for the first time, all my time Pop screamed at me. You know what I'm saying? Just all the things you reflect on.
Crazy, crazy
I
stuff.
just
Yeah.
I just had to sit down for a minute because it was so overwhelming, bro. Like I was so like I couldn't even believe it for real. Like for me, I didn't even think past getting drafted. For me, it was just like, yo, you're from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, bro. If you can get drafted, you can change everybody's mindset. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Just by getting drafted. And that was my whole thing. Like, all right, if I can get drafted, this whole landscape will change. I'm talking about Bethlehem. And so that was my whole thing. And then when it happened, man, it was just like so overwhelming. I was like, man, you really did this, bro. Humbly, you really did it, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you really did it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was first round, second round, I didn't even care. Like,
Mhm.
my
Your
name
name
got
was
called.
called.
My name got called, bro. Like, that's a gift from God. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, he called me, told me, um, I go downstairs. And this is my girlfriend, my wife now. Uh, I just kind of give her a little look, and I'm smiling. I'm just like it's happening. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And then probably 20 seconds later, Detroit's on the clock.
Wow.
Detroit picks Darrun Hilliard for Villanova University. I got my cousins there, um, the whole family there. The whole family there. They go crazy. They over there jumping on me and stuff like that, bro. It was probably one of the greatest feelings ever, besides my kids being born. No
I
lie.
I feel you on that. I can imagine that. So now let's fast forward to your rookie season. Get off to a rough start, breaking your
Mhm.
nose
Yeah.
right away, right away, and then you go back and forth between the Pistons and their G League at that time affiliate or D League affiliate, Grand Rapids. Um, what's that experience like? Like to go, you're living your dream. You're practicing.
hmm
Okay, you break your nose. That's an unfortunate event or whatever, but it maybe set you back a little bit. But you're there, you know,
hmm
and then they say, okay, well, we're gonna ship you to our affiliate. You're not gonna be full time here.
Yeah.
You're gonna be ship. You're gonna go back and forth. I
Yeah.
mean, on the one hand, you're living your dream, but your dream doesn't say
Nah,
I'm going to Grand Rapids.
this ain't the
Your
dream,
dream
dog.
says Detroit Pistons or bust.
Yeah, this
So
ain't the
what
dream.
is that like for a player? Okay, you were humble about everything. You've been humble this whole time, but you know, still you're a man, you're a player, you want to be at that level. You know, what is it like for you then to hear that? Like, okay, it's not a demotion, but it's you're still there, but it's somehow a demotion.
Yeah, it is. It call it what it is. That's what it is. I thought the same thing. I'm like what's the G League? Like what's this? Like why am I doing this? Like I didn't even have no but for me, man, it was like it took me a minute to get over getting drafted, if I'm being real with you. Like it took me a while. And I don't want to say I didn't work, because I worked harder than anybody in that organization. And anybody can tell you that. I worked, but my mentality was like, bro, you made it still. You know what I'm saying? I was still kind of naive to the fact that you didn't really make it
Mhm.
mentally. You know what I'm saying? Physically, I was still putting the work, the time in, doing everything I had to do. But mentally, I was just so kind of on cloud nine still that I was in the NBA. Like I got to put on the practice. I got to put on the practice uniform with an NBA logo. I got a
Right.
jersey that got my family's name on the back with an NBA. You know what I'm saying? I was just still
Right.
like in that frame, in that mindset for like, bro. It was probably like for my entire rookie year, to be honest with you.
Really?
So when I was going to the G League, obviously I had this chip on my shoulder, like, yo, y'all got me messed up for real. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm still
Yeah.
going down here to kill.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wasn't tripping. Like I wasn't like, yo, forget this. This is stupid. I'm better than this, and this.
Right.
Cause I was so in my mind, like, who cares, dog? Like you made it, bro.
Mhm.
Like, I mean,
That's
given
dope.
given the fact that I was in the G League, I was not tripping at all, to be honest with you. That's cold hard facts right there. I did not care about going down to the G League. Cause one, I made it, and two, I was playing. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, all right, I'm getting all these minutes, I'm getting all these shots. Might as well work on my game. So for that first year, it was like I really didn't even it didn't bother me, to be honest with you. I didn't even care.
So, second year starts. Stress
Yeah.
fracture in your back. What happened?
Yeah, man, that was the toughest year for real because like I knew that I had something to prove going into my second year. I knew how it worked. I
Right.
knew how the NBA was moving. You know what I'm saying? I kind of got a feel for the business, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Stuff
Mhm.
like that. And so I stayed in Detroit the whole time. Like I didn't go home. I stayed there, got stronger, got bigger, got faster, and I was just going too hard, so to say, and ended up messing up my back. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing too much, and
Right.
I don't want to say I wasn't taking care of my body, but I was just working
You
too
were you were
hard.
overloading your body.
Exactly. I was working too hard and not compensating with the rest and recovery. And
I
so,
had a I had a sorry I cut you off. I had a
but
personal trainer or athletic trainer, actually not a personal trainer, athletic trainer on a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying how important that rest is, and that
yeah,
in America especially they tend to overdo it, and
that's a fact.
that's for sure what happened to you.
Definitely. Because I mean, given the circumstances, I felt like I had to though. Like
Right.
I feel
You're
like
trying to prove.
I had no choice but to work harder than anybody in the world. That was my mindset. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't want anybody to outwork me mentally or physically. So I was doing everything I did. I was back into the mode where you're trying out for these teams, trying to get drafted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was back into that mode because that works for me to get drafted. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do the same thing, and hopefully it'll replicate itself. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, my back happened. I wasn't allowed to play summer league, and me not playing summer league that kind of set me back a lot, bro. 'Cause, I mean, you could prove yourself a lot in summer league to not
Yeah.
just the Pistons, but to other teams as well. And so
Yeah.
I kind of missed out on that opportunity, and I had to just find my way throughout the season. And you know, when you get to training camp, it's already locked in. The rotation's
Yeah.
already locked in,
Yeah.
basically. So I just was climbing from the bottom. Luckily, I had some great vets: Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris. Those
Good.
guys kind of, you know, kept my head on straight and you know just encouraged me as much as they could. But that second year was probably the toughest year of my career, no doubt.
So then fast forward to year three. So when I read this, I didn't realize this, and I read that you got then traded,
Yeah.
and the next day you got traded to
Wait.
the Clippers. The next day you got waived by the Clippers.
I think I got traded. See, this is crazy because people think that you flying to LA then flying to this place. Nah, I was at
No,
the
no.
crib. I was at the crib and they told
Yeah.
me, you got traded to LA, but LA not gonna want you, so you're gonna get traded to Houston. It was like something with the Chris Paul trade at the time.
Right, Chris Paul. I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. So I got traded to LA. That didn't work out. Traded to Houston. They waived me. So this happened in the span of 2 days.
Right.
And I was like, dang, so I'm out the league that fast? Like, that's how quick it can go, though, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. That's how fast it can go. Because, like I said, it happened in the span of 2 days. And then my agent started calling me, like, you know, you start talking about overseas or you want to do this is when the two-way started. The two-way
Right.
was the first year.
The first way of two ways being on
Yeah,
a pro
might
team
have
with
been
the
it might have been the first or second year was the two ways. And I was like, man, I ain't going overseas. I'm not, nah. Because, I mean, you know how Americans are. They're like, man,
that's the dream.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, let's keep it 100. You doing all your workouts. You from a time you can dribble ball. Your dream is NBA or
right.
bust, and and especially if you get in the NBA, you get as
Yeah.
far as you got. It's nothing arrogant to say I don't want to go overseas, but
Right.
that's not the dream.
At all.
Nobody's working at 7 o'clock in the morning, working out at 7 o'clock in the morning, thinking, you know
I'm gonna
what?
go play
I'm gonna go
EuroLeague.
overseas.
Right.
I'm gonna go to Europe. Ain't
I ain't
nobody
even
doing that. Ain't
nobody.
nobody doing it.
And
But
nobody's telling you about it either. Like nobody's telling you about. Nobody told me about EuroLeague. Nobody told me about overseas ball. Nobody was. I didn't
we're
even.
gonna get to that in a minute because
Right.
I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But that's the truth, man. And it might sound arrogant when people hear like, nah, I wasn't thinking about the NBA. I mean, I wasn't thinking about Europe. But when your single-minded focus is on one thing, you
Right.
got those blinders on and you don't see nothing. And
Absolutely.
unless you have people really in your corner that have been through it and can tell you about it, you're not thinking about Europe. You're just thinking league,
League.
league, league. It's nothing. It's not arrogant. It sounds arrogant, but that's just the way. And especially for someone like you that was like there.
Right. That's what we were taught, and that's what I was. That's how I was brought up.
Hmm.
Like you said, people around us were just like, "You're gonna get to the league, buy your mama a house." This, you know what I'm saying? The stigma of
Yeah.
getting to the NBA, and I was like, "All right, that sounds cool." So I'm gonna do the same thing.
Right.
So yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the EuroLeague or Europe or anything like that. And so when my agent brought it up, I was like, "Man," and I had some great offers too, like some with good money, good locations. It was for being my first year overseas. It was there was some pretty good offers, but I was like, nah, man, I'm not ready for that. I'm gonna stay here.
So yeah, I'm sorry. So you go through your third year, you play with San Antonio, you go with
Yeah.
their affiliate,
Mm-hmm.
you win the championship with the Spurs
Mm-hmm.
affiliate. Um, so at what point after that did you did it become like a real thing? Like, okay, now maybe I'm going to Europe. Like, how did your
Yeah.
agent approach you? And how did it like make a click in your mind that okay, my next destination might be in Europe?
Well, bro, I was so young, man, so young mentally, and so like naive to everything. Like, um, I just remember, I felt like I played my best basketball during that G League season,
Mhm.
and humbly, I felt like I should have got the MVP. It's crazy because my teammate is Lorenzo Brown. He got the MVP of that G League season. But anyway, I felt like I played my best basketball. I was like, okay, the team definitely seen this. Like
Mhm.
we won the championship. I played well. I was efficient. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody has to pick me up. And we never got that call. My agent at the time never got that call, and he just was like, "Yeah, man, it doesn't look too good." Basically, and I can still hear him saying that, like, it doesn't look too good. They came from California to Philly to meet with me, and I just remember him not giving me no good news, like no good news about teams, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay, well, like, what's the next option? And
Mhm.
he brought up overseas, and I was just so against it. I was so naive and so just not for it. And it took me a while. It took me a while to kind of do my research and educate myself. And I
Right,
felt like once I educated myself, man, it was like
right,
it's not that bad. Like
right,
it's
right.
not too bad.
That's
Especially
the
the
thing.
place that I was going to. Like
Yeah,
I was going to. I know you're gonna get into it, but I was going to a good situation, a good place, a good
right,
location in Spain.
right.
Uh, it was good money. It was more money that I was making in the league, to be honest
Right.
with you. And so I was like, all right, man, well, let's do it. And you know, when an American gets overseas for the first year, it's like, all right, I'm gonna kill and I'm gonna go back.
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. So
That's their
yeah,
first
wait,
thought
hold
every
on. We're gonna
time.
get to that. We're gonna get to that because exactly that point I wanted to hit you with because I know that everybody thinks they're just gonna come over here,
Right,
dominate, boom, boom, boom,
right,
and I'm going right back. I'm gonna be
all right,
doing this.
right.
It's tough. It's
Nah,
tough. Okay,
nah,
wait, let me
player.
back up. Let me back
Right,
up first. So what I want to know because this is part of what I do as a educator and what I'm doing to educate basketball players on Europe. Um, one question that I always have, especially for high level athletes, high level basketball players, is how did your agent kind of prepare, or do you feel like your agent prepared you? You said you did some research on your own, but I'm of the opinion that agents should do maybe a little bit more to inform their clients on what they're going into. They, of course, they've got other clients; they have to do a lot of things. But it's my opinion that agents should do a lot more to educate their players. What was it like for you like you said, you did your own education, but until you're actually here,
Hmm.
you can't possibly
No
really
way.
know unless you have someone that really was playing on a high level over here, or you know somebody that played. And how was it for you? What do you think, looking back on it, could have helped your experience in the beginning? Was it more from your agent or more from yourself that
I
bears
think
the responsibility?
I think it was a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I think I wasn't as open minded as I should have been. You know,
Right. Of
when
course.
I was
Sure.
I was still kind of like I'm better than this in a way, humbly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's not
And I
humble,
was
man. That's not humble.
and
That statement is
I was
not
just
humble.
I was just I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I thought I was just so mad at my agent. Like I'm like, bro, you're not working for me. You know what I'm saying? I was just so young. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, bro,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not working for me. Like I don't want you to represent me. I don't want you to work for me no more. So like I'm just not happy right now. But I stuck with him. I stayed loyal with him, and I can just remember when I got over there, it was like I didn't talk to him no more. You know what I'm saying? He kind of threw me to this. He had a Spanish. Usually these agencies have a overseas
Partner.
connection, overseas partners,
Yeah.
whether it's Spain, Germany. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They have partners who deal with the day to day for these guys.
Right.
And I didn't understand that. I thought that he was just tossing me
He was
off.
pushing you off.
Exactly. Which,
Mhm.
if I was in his position, bro, I would do the exact same thing. So he was not wrong. You know what I mean? Because he has NBA guys. He's in
Right.
the United States. He's gonna work for his
Right.
NBA guys. The guys he have overseas, he's gonna work with them. You know what I'm saying? So but I didn't understand that. I didn't
Right.
understand that, and so
Mhm.
I acted off of emotion, parted ways with him, and learned my lesson, so to say.
So basically, I'm gonna shamelessly plug my book. I'm gonna send this to you,
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
I realized a couple years ago after I wrote the book that there's so much that guys don't understand about playing overseas, and now playing overseas is a little bit in vogue. They're still not
Yeah,
hitting the court at 5 a.m. thinking I want to go overseas, but
right.
it's somehow an option in the back of a lot of players' minds. What you didn't used to be like that. It wasn't my thought either before I came over here.
I think social media helped out a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. The rise of social media has definitely helped a lot. But it's crazy because players just don't know a whole lot, and that's why I feel it's kind of like my responsibility. I know there's a couple other guys as well that are kind of trying to help these players out, and it's crazy when I talk to people and the things that they expect, that they think. I
Yeah,
mean, I talk to some guys and they think they should be making as much money as you, and they didn't finish college. Like
chill,
like some unreal expectations. Where I'm like,
chill.
yo, dude,
Come on, man.
no, no,
Come on.
it ain't. There's
Come on.
levels. There's levels.
And I've been grateful to say the least. Like
You played in some great places.
I've been very fortunate,
Yeah,
bro. Like very, very fortunate to be in Euroleague this entire time. Like
yeah,
I mean, obviously I quote unquote got it out the mud, but I jumped right into the Euroleague and didn't look back. And so I've been in some pretty decent situations.
yeah,
I talk to guys, around Europe who've been in some pretty, you know what I'm saying? It could get
yeah,
rough
yeah,
out there. It could
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
definitely take a toll on you. And so I've been very fortunate, man, to say the least.
So your first year, you're in Spain, right?
Yeah.
Which team?
Baskonia
Yeah,
in the north of Spain.
right. So, um, you get to Spain, you start hooping, you have a really good season stuff. What are you thinking like midway through the season? Like you're playing well,
Mm.
and what are you thinking? Now we're coming to that point, like I'm wrecking shop and I'm going back. When was that moment where you were like, "Ooh, maybe I'm not going back"?
It's crazy because like I don't want to say I was ready to go home, but I had a tough coach, man. I had a really tough
Yeah,
Spanish coach, and
yeah,
I don't want to say he had a perspective of me, man. Like he thought that I was something that I wasn't,
mhm,
and I just felt like I had to prove to him that I was not that quote unquote NBA guy who was
right.
I was really there for the team. Like I was trying to win. I was really trying to find my way in Europe, and we just did not get along.
Didn't gel.
It was a rocky road for those first couple months, man. It was tough because you know how the Europe is, the workouts and the training and stuff. It's just different,
Totally
like
different stuff,
it's different.
totally
Like
different training
right,
methods.
you could be doing some nonsense and you're just like, bro, what is this? What are we
Yeah,
doing? You know what I'm saying?
right.
And but you can't act off that. You can't do that. You got to still be professional, be
Yeah,
cordial. you know what I'm saying, do the right things. You gotta still play the role, so to say. And so it was a rough first couple months. I'm not even gonna lie. But then I'm sorry to say this, he got fired. They brought in a new coach who was he was a great player in Europe, so he kind of understood me a little bit more, and so he kind of allowed me to spread my wings a little bit. And like I said, God was in my corner with that as well. Because if that coach never got fired, and
It could have been much different.
bro, I could have went home. Like I was literally like, because you know when you're overseas, if the basketball not good,
Everything sucks.
life is just not good. If the basketball not good overseas, life is terrible. At least in our eyes, Hooper's eyes. And so, like I said, by the grace of God, man, this coach came in, and I was able to spread my wings. We made the playoffs. We played CSKA Moscow in the playoffs. We ended up losing that series. We should have beat them for real. We ended up losing. I had a great series. But to answer your question, I was still thinking NBA. But when CSKA called, it was like, bro,
you can't say no to that.
The best is this is kind of
you can't say no to that.
But when you're gonna play, you're gonna get an opportunity to play big minutes, and they treat you like an NBA. They treat you like an NBA player as far as like the amenities, the pet. You know what I mean? Everything that comes with
everything is top notch.
Yeah, the plane, you get on plane, the travel. You know what I'm saying? It's great. You can't. Why would you even pass this up to go to the NBA to sit on the bench and be the 14th man? Like you're not happy doing that either. So. Again, God was in my corner, bro, and when CSKA called, when Tutis called, it was like, all right, it's not over for the league, but we put on the back.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask. Was there ever a moment when you said, okay, I'm gonna go all in on this European experience? I got a great situation. Yeah. Was there a moment where you were like, NBA dream is dead?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's still late. I mean, I'm not.
Of course, if you get a call.
Yeah. But I'm very, very comfortable here. Like me and my family are very, very comfortable here. So it's like I'm not too pressed to go. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Bosconia that first year, I'm like, all right, man, I'm trying to get 30 so I can get back to the league. You know, but now as you older, you get a different mindset. You kind of understand the landscape, and it's like, you know, if they call, they call. But if they don't, I'm still cool over here.
If you could give your younger self when you're okay, agent tells you, okay, you're going overseas. If you could give yourself now some advice to that kid, what do you say?
Oh, that's a great question, man. The advice I would say to that kid would probably just be, understand what you're getting into. You know, ask as many questions as you can. You know, because I was on some like. I feel like when you first go overseas, bro, I was so isolated. Like I was just so to myself, like so like, you know, I didn't want to
enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to hang out with my teammates. I didn't want to, and my teammates will tell you this. Toko, Siobhan Shields, they'll tell you this. Like I wasn't as friendly as I am now. You know, and it wasn't like, I don't want to say it was purposely, but it was just like I guess the whole process of it kind of was in a way overwhelming that I didn't really know how to handle it. So I just kind of went interior and just kind of just was quiet and didn't
in a bubble, in your own bubble,
my own world type of thing. And my advice to him would just be, man, just step out of that real quick. Just go over here, step out of that, talk to your teammates, educate yourself. Because when I talk to my teammates now, I get so much knowledge and so much just educated on certain things that I had no idea.
And not even about basketball.
Yeah, bro. Culture, food, you know what I'm saying? Just everything. And I'm not the talkative type. I'm not really the talkative type to go out and, you know, be this social butterfly, but just being present, you know what I mean? Not being in the house not being in the apartment all day, you know what I'm saying? Playing the game all day. So I would just tell him to be more
open.
Just be more open, bro. Like just be more open to the situation that you're in. It's not that bad.
That's what I tell people too.
It's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I tell people too. Not that bad. It could be worse.
You're a pretty damn good individual player, but you have the reputation that you make teams better, and I think that's why you've been able to stay on that Euroleague level. Mm-hmm. You never dip down under the Euroleague level. What do you think are some attributes that Americans you need to have to be successful overseas. We're not even talking about the EuroLeague level because that's a class for itself. But I mean, now you've been a vet for a while, and so you see what it's like at other places and how it could be. What would you say to young guys that are just starting out?
Honestly, man, that's very, very tough for me to answer that question because again,
Because you haven't,
I've been so blessed. I've been so
yeah, yeah,
fortunate to be in the EuroLeague every year. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I haven't really touched the bottom of the bottom in Europe, so I can't really tell you what that is. You know, so but
I feel you on that.
from my perspective, I would just say get rid of that NBA mentality. Get rid of that go get a bucket mentality. Get rid of that uh, up and down mentality. You know what I'm saying? Just this style of game. You got to get rid of it, bro. It's a different
Yeah.
game. It's not that. Let that joint go. It's not
Same name, different game. Totally different over here.
totally different. And you gotta study this. Like you gotta really, really study this game.
Thank you.
Watch them old Final Four games. You know what I'm saying? I was in the crib doing that all the time just to kind of understand like the systems,
The nuances.
the nuances, how the coaches react on the sideline. Like, you know what I'm saying? How the team reacts, how the fans are. You know what
Hands.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just mentally putting yourself in that situation where it's like, okay, I think I understand this now. So when you get on the court, it's not like, all right, I'm gonna get the ball and I'm gonna get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't that. Obviously, time and place calls for that, but you got to be able to switch it up. You got to be able to be versatile. You got to be able to adapt to any situation on the fly. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that
Mhm.
a lot of us have trouble with. You know what I'm saying? Adapting to a situation where it's like, all right, coach might be rocking with you this week. Next week, he might not be feeling you, but that's just the game. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come back around.
That's a good point.
You got to be able to understand, like, all right, this just ain't my time right now. It's gonna come back around. Just be patient, keep working, keep grinding. It's not gonna be like this forever. So I would just encourage them to just kind of educate themselves on the game. You know what I mean? Just the
Mhm.
style of play and stuff like that.
That's a good point what you just said that sometimes the coach might not be rocking with you because you're playing on a totally different level than 99% of the players, the American players that come overseas, right? So you don't have to play 36 minutes. Um, you're playing, you better be efficient in the 24 minutes you get. Maybe you get 30 minutes one game, maybe it's 12 the next game, you know? So you got to kind of keep your confidence and know, okay, maybe today wasn't my day, but tomorrow will be, and you got to
Yeah.
be ready for that challenge. Um, what is it like? How is like the load management on EuroLeague teams when you're playing a ton of games, you're playing international, you're playing national, uh, but like for FC Bayern, for example, it seemed like from an outsider's perspective looking in, it looked like they had two teams. They had a EuroLeague squad and they had a domestic squad, Bundesliga squad.
Uh,
And okay, with injuries, whatever, it could be twisted a little bit, but how is it not to need to play 36 minutes for your team's success? How is it to not to have it spread kind of evenly? One game it's your game, next game it might be somebody else's. How is that load management in such high level competition?
well, obviously, I think it's a situation you go to for sure. Because some teams they don't really believe in that load management. When I was in Bosconia, it wasn't no load management. You know what I'm saying? I was playing every game, EuroLeague, domestic cup games, all them. I was playing every
Uh,
single game. There was no load management. But when I got to Russia with CSKA, they sit players out for domestic league games and EuroLeague games. Obviously, everybody plays, but I think that now it's becoming more of a popular thing to kind of rest players, to kind of low manage players and stuff like that. But at the same time, man, it's tough because like
you want to play.
you want to play, like you know, especially if you're not playing well and the coach sits you down for a domestic league game. It's like, dang man, I
You don't
want to.
get your rhythm.
I gotta get my, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get my stuff
Yeah,
back. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it could go either way. You know, it's not like something you want to do all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance. It's definitely a balance for sure. But I think that the teams that I've been on, they've done a great job at just kind of recognizing when a guy is tired or recognizing when a guy needs to play recognize when a guy doesn't want to play. You know what I'm saying? So with Seska, they did that. Bayern Munich did that. Bayern Munich Bayern Munich was the best at that because Trinkieri used to let you stay at home. Like he used to, you know what I'm saying? You go to a German league game playing Chemnitz or something like that, and you're not suiting up. You can stay home with the fam. Not a lot of coaches do that, you know.
Right. Right.
It's just about situation, you know what I mean? And some coaches are trusting the strength and conditioning guys even more. You know what I mean? The strength and
Because
conditioning.
they see it.
Exactly. They're very educated. They understand it. They know. And if you got a coach who trusts that guy, it's great. You know what I mean? It's a great situation. It's going to be a good season. But if those two guys are kind of butting heads, it could get kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So let's move on to Maccabi.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Maccabi is one of the most traditional, like biggest clubs in European basketball. And you go from FC Bayern, which is a great situation, but I think they were just happy to be in the play to make the playoffs. You know, that
Yeah.
was kind of like the goal, just to make the playoffs. Now you're going to a team, they've spent a whole lot of money, I can imagine. They've brought in a whole new squad
Yeah.
than last year. So the expectations are for sure going to be through the roof. And you have to take on a favorite role. You're not hiding, right?
Yeah.
How is it to go from a situation like FC Bayern where it was kind of like, okay, we want to make the playoffs, to now a team where they're like, yo,
You
we
better
want to
win.
win the Euro Cup. We want
Right.
to win the Euroleague. Like
Right.
how I know you just started in Maccabi, but how is the mood and how is it like to practice there and with I'm sure it's a different kind of feeling.
Yeah. First of all, Israel is great, man. If anybody's ever been to Tel Aviv, like it's
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
so
Wow.
beautiful. Like
Yeah.
just it's hot. You know what I'm saying? People are
It's
great.
like being in New York.
It's amazing, dude. Like I love it so much. Like I mean, I'm jumping the gun a little bit it's early, like you said, but I love it here. Like absolutely love it here. And as far as like Maccabi goes, um, I felt like Seska prepared me a little bit for this. You know what I mean? Because when you
Right.
go to Seska, it's like you shouldn't really lose. Like you got all the top players. You shouldn't really lose
Right.
a domestic league game. If you lose a EuroLeague game, Prez is in the locker room grilling everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just grilling you, talking to you in Russian. You don't understand what's going on. He cursing. He cursing you out, but you don't know what he's saying. So I think that Seska really prepared me for that. But at Seska, I was kind of like as a one of the pieces. You know what I mean? I was just kind of I wasn't one of the main guys, so to say, and that was fine. I wasn't complaining, but it was really Mike, Will, Toko, Milutinov.
Yeah,
those
a
guys.
different role.
Yeah, those are the big guys. So I was in a different role at the time. So I was just kind of trying to
Fit
find my
in.
way.
Mhm.
Exactly. When I got to Byron, I was kind of like one of the lead guys, but the expectations weren't as high. And now here, I'm kind of one of the lead guys, along with a couple other guys. But expectations are very, very high. So it's a new situation for me too. But I feel like I'm well prepared. You know what I mean, as far as like the pressure and the expectations go, and how to win and just how to carry yourself throughout an entire season. Because
Right.
I played every role. You know what I mean? I was a role player. I was one of the guys. Expectations were high. Expectations were low. So I feel like I played all the roles to prepare me for this. And as far as like practicing and coach goes, it's been great, man. It really has. We're obviously missing Lorenzo because he's with Eurobasket, but it's been great. It's been competitive. I love the guys. We got about 8 Americans on the team, so it's like
Mhm.
it's you. Ain't, you I feel like I got no excuse, to be honest with you. If we can stay healthy, it's
Right.
it's really no excuse for why we can't win.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely tipped to be one of the favorites for sure. So I can imagine that everything that you did up until this point prepared you for this point.
Absolutely.
Even the lows, maybe in the NBA, going to affiliates to things, and like you said, you played different roles on different teams,
Hmm.
and now you're a vet. So now
Exactly.
it's like you're expected to lead this team, and that's
Exactly.
what I said before. Is you have the reputation of making teams better. So I think that's not a big step for you outside
Right.
of your norm.
Right.
Um, what do you think? What do you think that the difference is between you as a player right now
Yeah,
and you as a player, let's say your third year in the league?
that's a great one. So I feel like it's more than just me. It's more than just a player now. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Obviously, I got to perform. Obviously, I got to be efficient. Obviously, I got to do what I do. But it's more than that. I got to be in the locker room. I got to talk to guys. I got to engage guys. I got to, you know what I'm saying, take guys out for dinner. There's rookies who are their first time in the EuroLeague on this team. So I got to make sure that they have a good experience. You know what
Understanding.
I'm saying? They got confidence in themselves. And for me, it's not just about being on the court. It's about instilling confidence in other guys and pulling other guys along. And even when I'm down on myself, being vulnerable enough to trust this, to trust the next man. You know what I'm saying? To listen to somebody's advice. You know what I mean? Just being a well-rounded player, human. You know what I'm saying? And it's more than just basketball. I feel like now, as like you said, I'm a veteran, so to say, and I just got to do more. I feel like, but not physically. You know, just vocally, uh,
The little
spiritually. You know
things.
what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. When I was in my third year, even my first year at Baskonia, I was real like I was real just I gotta perform. That was it. I gotta play well. I gotta be
Nothing outside of that.
nothing. I mean, at this time, this is my mindset. It wasn't I wasn't engaging with guys. I wasn't going to dinner with dudes. You know what I'm saying? It was just I gotta survive. You know what I mean? And I had that survivor mentality. But now I feel like in a way I'm established and people know who I am and know what I can bring to the table.
What you do, right?
So it's like, all right, you know that now. So what can you do? What else can you do more? Can you be that guy in the locker room who has a caring voice, who put guys in the right situation? You know what I mean? Get guys thinking the right way. And so I just think I'm called upon to do a lot more.
Um, I wish you all the best during the season, but let's talk about off the court.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you off the court. You're married, father of two.
Yes, sir.
How has the European experience as a whole, no matter where you've been, but just as a whole, how has it changed your relationship with your wife and also your role as a father?
That's a good one, man. Well, one my my man. First of all, I couldn't do none of this without my wife. I mean, you know how it
Yeah,
is. Without
yeah.
wifey, bro, I don't even know. I don't even know what happened. She is the backbone, the rib, everything to this. So she keeps this train going. Um, Mentally for me, she's always there. You know what I'm saying? She's always put me in the right frame of mind. Um, and with our relationship, it was crazy, man. Because when I was in Austin playing with the Spurs G League, she was there with me. That was kind of our first time living together and stuff. And then she came to Spain with me, and that first year was tough on her as well. Being with
Mhm. In a
family,
way,
she has family in Gran Canaria, so it was kind of close. But still, it's your first time overseas. Like
yeah.
she didn't really have to be there. Like we weren't married at the time, so she didn't really have to be there. And so going through that first year really, really taught us a lot about our relationship. Um, Ended up having our son in Spain. Um, he was born in Spain in Vitoria. Um, so that kind of woke us up a lot, and made us grow up sooner than we thought. And so
Mhm.
it's been some tough times. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been ideal. I think that's the biggest thing. Like it wasn't something we ever could have thought of. Like when we were in college, we never would have thought we would have had a kid in Spain and in Germany. It's kind of shocking, so to say. And but honestly, we just take it a day at a time. If I know she's happy, I know everything else is cool. So
Happy, happy wife, happy life.
you got it. And I mean that can sound corny to some, bro, but if you overseas and wifey not happy, bro, you're
Mhm.
not gonna perform well.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want to go to the gym. You're not gonna want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just it goes hand in hand. So it's like my thing. I just feel like I gotta make her as comfortable as possible. I gotta go in a situation where she's gonna be comfortable. Was they're gonna be comfortable. School is good for the kids. Um, that's been my biggest thing so far. Aside from the basketball, just making sure that I got a great
Good
apartment or
situation.
house, a great
Mhm.
situation, great. That's why I came to Tel Aviv. A great organization. You know what I mean? Who's gonna work with
Mhm.
us and be there for us for whatever we need with the kids and for her. And um, that's just my biggest thing since we've been out here, man. Just making sure she's as comfortable and as happy as possible. Obviously, it hasn't been easy by far.
You've gone a lot.
Gone a lot. She's with the kids a lot, but
Mhm.
I just try to do my best. Whatever is getting the nanny or you know what I'm saying, putting the kid in school or you know what I'm saying, just little stuff, going on dates, exploring. She's a big explorer, and so I think that after Moscow, it kind of it got a little bit easier because living in Russia was tough for her. You know, I seen it on. It was tough for all of us, but especially for her because I'm going a lot. Russia is far, so I'm traveling a lot. It's not too much sun in Russia, so it really took a toll on. It really took a toll on her,
Yeah.
so to say. Um, but at the same time, it was good for us, you know, because we went through that. We've been through that, and so
Together.
exactly when we got through
You
that, it
can
was
only depend on each other. There's no family. You
exact. So,
only got each other.
and then it's crazy because when we get home, it's like, all right, we don't even need to talk to y'all because we've been doing it for 10 months. You know what I'm saying? We don't even need no help because we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, man, she's been awesome. Like, and I can't ever thank her enough.
How is it like as a father? Because you're gone a lot. Your kids are small right now, so it's a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but yeah, you're gone a lot. But when you're there, I'm sure you're full on.
Yeah.
Um, how is the living experience been in Europe for you with the kids? They're
Mhm.
growing up in different cultures. They might start speaking different languages at some point.
Yeah.
Like, because is that something you could have ever imagined,
No way.
before?
No way. And honestly, bro, I can't even say I got my hands totally on the wheel with this because it's like,
You learn by doing, man.
man,
Trust me.
crazy.
Trust me.
I sit back and I'm like, man, I wish I could talk to Bron or Mike or Cole right now. Like, how are they so great at basketball and still
You
great
still
dads?
have family here.
Like, bro, it's hard. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's tough. Like,
Yeah.
it's not easy. One got to give at
Yeah.
certain. So it's like I'm still trying to figure out that balance of being the greatest dad that I can be, but also still being that dog on the court. You know,
Mhm.
so it's still tough. Like I still haven't figured out the remedy or figure out
Learning by doing, man.
exactly. So it's like I'm just taking it day by day. And as far as like the kids growing up, obviously I didn't envision it, but I think it's great. I think it's the best thing for them. I mean, if anybody can do it, I encourage them to do it because when are they ever going to be overseas? You know what I'm saying? Going to a foreign school. When are they going to? You know what I'm saying? Just playing with a kid from Moscow or playing with a kid from Munich or you know. So it's like you can look back and tell them like you were born in Germany or Spain, you went to school in Tel Aviv, you know, so it's like they got that diversity, they got that
Right.
around them. Obviously, my wife is Dominican, so they know Spanish. They're gonna know Spanish. If they pick up another language, then
It's bonus.
they can just talk behind dad's back without you know what I'm saying. So I'm with it. I'm with it,
So you're still young, but father time is, as we know, undefeated. So
boy.
eventually you have to hang them up, right? So are you starting to think about your transition out of the game and what you would like to do when you're done?
Man, I can't even say I think about it, but it's like things
You
around.
need to, man. You
Um,
need to. You
yeah,
need to.
I'm. It's like okay. Let me say it like this. I think about it, but I still try to keep the main thing in a way,
To
which is
focus on what you're doing now.
exactly, which is basketball. Because I'm the type of guy like if I'm thinking about something, I'm gonna go all in on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be full blow, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to do to succeed at that. So I try my best not to worry about it too much, but things around me have been happening as far as like um, in my hometown, getting involved with the kids and the
Mm.
community.
Yeah.
Flirted with coaching a little bit, and but I don't really know if I want to get into that. Um, just talked to the mayor of my hometown for the first time last week. Had a great conversation. I never thought that'll happen. Politics and stuff. So things around me have been investments. Things around me have been happening uh, just on the fly, so to say, just by the grace of God. And I don't want to say I've been thinking about it, but it's been happening, so to say.
So let's talk about your off the court stuff with your nonprofit organization, Team 6X Sports. What do you do with that, and how did you get it started? What was your idea behind it?
Well, it's been going for it's been going.
For a minute. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's been going for since I was a kid, but it
Yeah.
just was called. This was called Team Six. And for those that don't know, six X is 610. X is 10, Roman numeral.
Right.
And yeah, honestly, I got a great circle, man. I got a cousin, Jonathan McDonald, who handles the day to day with these kids. He started the basketball, the football, the cheerleading. So it's just kind of a mentorship type of thing, and we're really just seeing how far the kids want to take it. We're gonna do the biddy leagues and stuff like that, and give them outlet, and when I can come back and speak, I can, and all my professional friends come back and try to speak to those kids as well, just to kind of shed light on what they want to get into, and educate them on what they want to do in their life. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was coming up, we didn't have nobody who was in the league or overseas to just to talk to us. You know what I'm saying? And that was my biggest thing growing up. I was like, man, I was looking for somebody for so long just to
Just to
educate
rap to
and
and
talk
get
to,
their
ear
opinion and
just to ear hustle from. And
yeah.
uh, that was my goal coming up this whole time, just to be that guy who they could turn to, who's been through every situation, league,
Yeah.
Europe, been through every situation. I think that's what gives me kind of peace when I go through a tough time, because I know I'm going through it for a reason. It's for these youngins back at the crib who might need help, who might need some guidance. You know what I'm saying? I can give them that because I've been through that same tough time.
Mm.
And so that's just what Team 6X is, man. It's just a mentorship thing, and if the kids want to take it as far as like being one of the best AAU teams, they got it, But we kind of just leave it up to them. Obviously, we make it into the biddy leagues and stuff like that, but we're keeping it like that for now.
What I kind of thought was cool was it's not just purely basketball. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Of course, when athletes do stuff nonprofit, it usually has to do with the sport that they're in. But
Yeah,
what you're doing is not just basketball, it's football, like you said, a lot of different things, and not just sports.
yeah,
And what I thought was dope was I saw a post that was on their page on your page, um, recognizing someone for something that they did academically,
yeah, absolutely.
and had absolutely nothing to do with sports.
Yeah,
And I think that's dope, and I think that's also what the kids back home what they need.
that's
That it's not just that sports is not the only way you're going to get out the hood. Sports
right.
is not the only way that you're not just going to be a rapper or
It has to be
athlete.
like, it doesn't have to be just sports, like you said. It doesn't. That's not your only alternative. But that's my mom
Yeah.
right here, though. That's my mom. She's the one with the education and stuff like that. She's still in my ear tell me to tell these kids about education, and she's around speaking education and stuff like that. So that's Mama Jenkins right there, man. She's still true to herself through and through. But yeah, like you said, it's more than basketball. We're trying to partner with St. Luke's to open up a whole facility. You know what I'm saying? We have an after school thing with the computers and the workout space, and you know what I'm saying, just for kids to have a place,
Outlet.
outlet, and just be them and educate themselves and play sports, but also if they want to be a rocket scientist or whatever the case, musician, it's right here in this facility as well. So Team 6X and St. Luke's are doing some big things that's on the way, and I'm just taking it day by day with that, man.
Good man. So I only got a couple more questions for you. Actually, I wanted to ask you a question that somebody asked in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
That was a
how
good.
is the chemistry with your teammates? Tell a little bit behind the scenes.
Here in Tel Aviv.
And Maccabi, yeah.
Okay. It's been great. It's been more than I've ever had. Obviously I was on a great team at Seska. I had a bunch of cool Americans with Mike James, Will Clyburn, guys of that nature. But it's been great here. Been connect been connected with a bunch of guys. Obviously we're missing Lorenzo, but Wade Baldwin, Jarrell Martin, Alex Pointers, Bonzi,
You
Bonzi.
guys got a squad,
We
man.
got a team, bro,
You
but
got you got a squad.
it's a bunch of guys who've been in the same position that I,
Right,
you know,
right,
went to top universities type thing. So we got
right.
a lot of like common denominators. Wade is from Jersey, so it's like we got a lot of stuff that we share, we can relate to. You know what I mean? And so the chemistry is great, man. Like I said, if we can stay healthy, the sky is really the limit for Maccabi.
So okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot right away with these quick questions, right?
So,
Um, from the teams that you've played on in Europe, so we got Baskonia, we got Ceska, and we got
uh,
FC Bayern. We're not going to throw Maccabi in the mix because you haven't played there whole season.
yeah.
So you got those three teams. Which team do you kiss, kill, and marry?
Ooh.
I'm putting you on the spot right away, Daddy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Kiss, kill, or marry,
Mm, mm.
and marry.
That's
Okay, who you kissing?
because both my kids was born in Spain and in Germany.
Man, it don't matter, man. This ain't got nothing to do with your kids, man. It's all
Heard you,
you,
heard you,
man. Don't
heard
try to put it off on your kids,
you, heard
man.
you, heard
This is
you. All right,
all you.
all right.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm a marry Byron.
You're gonna marry Bayern.
Marry Byron. I'm gonna kill Seska. Kill Seska, and then ooh, what was it? Kiss
Yes.
Baskonia.
Okay, I got you.
Baskonia my first love, so I can't leave them out.
Okay, good.
Sure.
So this is an interesting question.
I'm glad
Um,
I'm glad Seska not in the Euroleague no more, boy. Real tough.
so you played in some pretty good teams with some really great fans, and now you're one of the best.
Yeah.
Do you have any good story that you can tell about a fan interaction, whether it be good or kind of like weird?
Um,
You've been some places where there's some crazy fans, and now you're gonna really go through it in Maccabi, I'm sure. So I mean, just passion, just pure passion. I
I
see him in this chat right now
thought
going back and
I
forth.
thought Seska fans could have been better. To be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it real with that. I thought they could have been better for the team for the type of team we had. I thought they could have been a little bit better. Um, Baskonia fans were pretty intense. They were pretty intense. But I can't say I have really had a crazy interaction yet, bro. I mean, not
You ever
yet.
had a stalker?
I had these fans out here are wild. These are something else. They're great. They're passionate as can be. So it's been some I had a few guys run me down. I'm in the mall or something like that. Us down trying to get an autograph and stuff like that. So from that extent, man, it's probably Maccabi for sure already. So I can only imagine what it's gonna be like when we start winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you another tough one. I know this one's gonna be tough.
All right.
You can only choose one player, man.
Ooh.
The best player that you played against in Euroleague. You can only choose one player.
Bro, every time somebody asks me this, I'll go exactly to the same guy. When I was in Bosconia, and it's crazy how like nobody over in the States knows about like the killers in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
craziest thing to me, like,
Yeah.
but I was in Bosconia. We were playing Panathinaikos at Bosconia. They had a guy named Keith Langford, lefty,
Yeah.
lefty
Yeah.
dude, about six
Yeah.
four maybe.
Yeah.
He played in
I
these.
remember
He always played in these. I'll never forget. He played in these certain type of Jordans. It wasn't. It was like a team Jordan, and I always remember that from him. But bro, he gave me like a smooth 38. I had 4 fouls. It was just bad. He was doing all type of footwork, spin. It was nothing. He wasn't blowing by me. It was just so methodical. His footwork was precise. His efficiency was amazing. Like he was. After that game, bro, I watched film of him the
that.
entire year. He was
Yeah.
so good, bro. He was so polished. His game was so good. Like, and he was a lefty, so I was like, I gotta get like him. He was just so good, bro. He gave me like 38, bro. And you get 38 overseas, you nice.
That's an achievement. That's not every
You
day.
scored, you scored 30 overseas, bro. You got something to you. Like you're nice. And so I have 4 fouls. I'm sitting on the bench, mad, and this boy, he is killing. Like he's just killing us. But Keith Langford, bro, he's the best player I ever played against. But
Oh,
can I answer another question?
yeah.
I think as of now, I haven't played with my teammates yet. So whoever's listening to it, don't take this any type of way. But I think Mike James is the best teammate that I've had, best player team that I had for sure. Mike James is one of the best. Like he's just so good at
It's
basketball.
tough.
Big
Yeah. Yeah.
size. He's just a dog, man. He's just a killer, straight up and down. And he's probably the best teammate that I had, the player.
That's important. Um, what two EuroLeague teams would you pay to watch? Doesn't matter. We're not talking about in the playoffs and the brackets or anything like that. If you said, I want this team and this team to play each other, and I am going to pay money to sit there and watch it, what two teams would it be?
Oh, that's a goodie. It's got to be that Olympiacos Pana rivalry right there.
Oh,
At Pana though.
oh,
At,
oh,
with the See, people don't know that the fans at Pana haven't been like how they used to be. Like they kind of had a little dispute with the president, so they haven't been as like loud as they normally are. So if you can rewind that back a little bit and bring them the gate 13, I think it is, bring
yeah.
it back and put Olympiacos in there, I'll pay to watch that any day.
Okay, that's nice. All right, last thing. Last thing. I want to start something new with you I haven't done before in the show.
Let's do it.
Um, I'm gonna call it the call out. All
All right.
right. So now that you've been on the show, you experienced what I do with the interview and stuff. Tell me somebody who would be a good guest for the show. Call them out. So then I'm going to hit them up and I'm going to say, you said
Sure.
I need to reach out.
I'm gonna say Phil Booth, man.
Okay, I like Phil Booth.
Phil Booth was a great player in college. A great one, two natty
Yeah.
players. Came over to Europe, started at the bottom. So was in like maybe champions. I don't know what he was in, but it was low level.
Yeah.
Kept grinding. Now
Mhm.
he's at Budugnos. He's
Yeah.
playing in the Adriatic League, and he's still climbing, still grinding. But I think Phil got a great story because he had some like injuries that nobody knew about. And
Mhm.
talking to him, I think it'll be good for him and for the fans.
Okay, I'm gonna get on that. Um, when we get off, I'm gonna hit you up because I'm on my fanboy shit right now because there are two players that I definitely want on this show on some fanboy shit. I ain't gonna front.
All right.
And you know them both.
Okay.
One of them I reached out to, but he didn't get back to me. Kind of like you didn't get back to me because you didn't see the message. We ain't gonna talk about that. We done already cleared that up. We done already cleared that up. But one of them I reached out to, but he for sure has the same settings like you did, so he probably never read it.
All
And the
right.
other one is definitely on some fanboy shit. Uh, so I'm gonna hit you up on that, but I'm gonna hit up Phil Booth and say that you called him out and I need him on my show.
For sure. For sure.
Okay.
I got you.
All right, man. Hey, man. It was we went long.
Yeah, it was cool though.
We went long,
That
man. I'm sorry we went over time, but I really enjoyed having you on, and I really appreciate you taking your time out to inform and give some really good knowledge on
thank
some things that I wasn't even clear on before.
you. Sure.
And I appreciate you taking the time out and coming on, man. I for real.
No doubt, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
I'm gonna hit you up,
Yes, sir.
and it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. I'm gonna make sure I get
I need that book too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up.
Sure.
And I'm gonna make sure that I get on the YouTube description the Team 6X Sports the link so people can reach out. Maybe they can get involved or help financially or whatever you guys may need. So that's a good thing you're doing. And yeah, man, I wish you the best for the season, man. I'm gonna be watching.
For sure.
Overhead, just kind of taking it all in, and if you ever need you ever need to talk to Ohead, man, you
Hey,
got
I'm
me, bro.
definitely gonna reach out for sure.
All right, so you get on with your night, man. I appreciate it. Have a good season, man.
Sure. All right, man.
All
Peace
right,
out.
late. So teammates, that was dope, man. That was really dope. I was really happy to have him on, and he gave some great knowledge on a lot of things that I also wasn't aware of, especially NBA stuff. And yeah, I appreciate him being on, and I hope you all out there got something from it. I see a lot of people chiming in during this. A lot of people from Israel as well. And if you guys don't know me, basically what I do is I try to educate players, and I wrote a book. Here it is right here. And yeah, and that's what I do. And I'm hoping that these kind of videos will help to entertain and educate people on European basketball. And I think that's very important. And I think it's important for our community to reach out to each other, to help each other, to bring each other along. And that's what I'm trying to do in my little world. So if you're new here for the first time, I hope you'll visit again for other guests as well. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you were here for 1 minute or 30 seconds or the whole hour and I think 20 minutes that we were on now, I appreciate you. So yeah, thanks for being on, and I hope everybody's safe where they are. and see you next time. Oh, I've got another guest coming on this Friday that I'm really looking forward to, and I think a lot of you will really appreciate him and what he does. So that's all I can say for now. I'll put the presentation out, the guest introduction on Wednesday out, and in the meantime, be safe. Old head out.